Good morning, everyone, and good evening to Gail in South Africa, and good evening to Angie in the UK. And I saw by the emails that there are some other UK people here, so welcome, welcome. Just letting more people come into the room as we speak. We are also live on Instagram, so if you kind of see us look up there every now and then, that's why. So anyway, is anyone new to channeling? I know that there's, clearly some of our regulars who come out all the time, but is there anyone else new to channeling? Do you want to just spend a couple minutes on channeling?
I love this.
2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, just so you know what to expect.
Spend a couple minutes on channeling, yes.
And how we channel.
And it doesn't matter anyway, because when I go into trance, they're going to be looking all over the place. They don't necessarily look there. Sometimes my eyes will be closed. You'll see my breathing change. My head will start moving around.
You might hear him have clicking noises when he goes into trance.
And Renee is going to do a good job at interpreting who's coming through and what they're saying, things like that.
And how the energy comes through.
Yeah. So when they do come through, they will also refer to her as Gaia. And because she really is the grounding cord once I take off and start flying into the ethers.
So the energy will come down through me first.
Right.
Do you want to explain how that works?
Mm-hmm. So in reality, the energies don't come into my auric field first. They're going to come into her auric field, and then they kind of slowly enter into me. There's always a balancing here of like masculine, feminine, and feminine and masculine energies are always balancing all the time.
And for the newbies, believe it or not, we did not know the energy came through me first for over a year.
No, we had no idea.
Yeah,
so
over a year.
They have become very human-like in the sense that they're able to speak much easily through both of us now. It's been a long time, so.
And then I think it's worth spending just a minute on who we channel.
Right.
So as you saw from where you registered, the Ascended Masters and more are primarily who we channel. So the energies will speak collectively as one voice, which is sometimes hard for us to get our linear brains around, but that's how it works. And there are other guides outside of so-called Ascended Masters as well. And you may also see, depending on you, because really all of you is who is, what calls forth what comes through. So if you're prime energy, and those of you who know connections to Metatron, for example, or other seraphim energy, your souls may bring those energies forth during the channeling. So seraphim energies may come through like Metatron and Melchizedek. Sometimes the angelic realm comes through as well. They don't chit chat much. They mainly come through to heal. So if healing needs occurring. And I mean, that's primarily it. Two of our primary guides are Yeshua and Magdalene. So they may come through as well.
I always say challenge them all the time, like we do.
Ask the hardest questions.
Yes.
We always learn in a channeling session ourselves, always. Even if it's the same question we've heard before, because a different soul is asking it, it may come forth differently. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, Anthony's right. Stay away from the super personal, largely because we only have about an hour with you guys, and it's not enough time for them to go into the Akashic records and do kind of a deep nosedive on your lives. He's going to connect now, and you'll see some changes in his body as he connects. And the first group that will come through will be our guides, our primary guides, which is the Ascended Masters. All right, still just admitting some people here. So he's connecting now. You'll notice his breath. He goes into an Ujjayi breath, which slows everything down, right? And slowing everything down is what allows. Hey guys.
Always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia. Thank you for receiving us. We understand why we are here.
Thanks for coming through. On Anthony's birthday, no less. So
Yes.
We're doing a Zoom call and Instagram live over here, and we are opening the floor to different questions that people might have.
You know, there is always something special about your birthday, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
But what is it exactly? The day that you decided to come into this vibration, that too is special, isn't it?
Into this experience. So they'll often refer to vibration as the dimensional realm that we're living in the human plane.
That is correct. Every day is like a birthday, actually, if you allow it to be, you know.
That's true.
If you allow yourself to be open to it and to be rebirthed, a renaissance, as we always call it. Knowing who you are again. Do you all know who you are? Well, we believe you're getting there, and we are here to help you do that. We are here to help you be reborn again into who you truly are. The understanding of who you are in this lifetime, that is the most important thing. And knowing that you are always love, connected with love, and that you will always be love and loved. Okay. Good.
Yay. So we have our questions are starting to pour in, starting in the UK. Our friend Angie, who's an amazing sound healer, by the way. She is asking, where are we on the Ascension timeline? It seems kind of dark and divided out there with mandatory vaccines. So in Europe, we've heard that it's stricter, actually. That's funny. Denise, the Canadian one, just hello, Canada.
Okay, we'll get started here.
Yeah. So I know I've heard, right? I mean, you know, maybe you guys can sort of give us some insights there that it's been pretty strict in some parts of Europe for mandatory vaccines, which feels very dark and polarizing to many people.
Yes. Yes, we understand. It seems, it appears, the perception is that it's dark. Is it?
Well, forcing people into something against their will.
True. That is correct. We have not too much to say about that, do we? Or do we?
Because you're going to say that it's an experience.
Yes, we are. We're going to tell you the same thing we always say all the time that people don't want to hear anyway.
However, we, especially Europeans, remember, I too have lived in Europe and am over the age to remember where there was a lot of control in certain countries.
Yes, there was.
That people had to deal with. So there's still memories of that.
That is correct.
So why don't you speak to that?
We will indeed. Remember this. What you conceive or what you perceive to be of darkness truly is not of darkness. Okay, now, where do we go from here? It is only a perception that you think that this is dark, but it is not. Believe it or not, you ask where you are on this timeline for your ascension. Well, we tell you this. You are much further ahead now than you have ever been before. So do not fret. Do not be afraid, for you are advancing so much faster now than you ever have. As a species, human, you love more than you ever have. Your capacity to love each other has become divine, truly divine, so much more now than just a simple 100 years ago. So where are you on this ascension process? Well, you are very, very, very advanced, much more advanced than many other civilizations in your own
You're talking
universe.
about as a collective consciousness.
Yes, as a collective consciousness, as a collective species. So do not look at this as just darkness, because it too is a part of love. We always say this: within the void where there is no light, there is even love. And there is light. There really is. You just have to find it.
Well, speaking of darkness, or speaking of, another person has a question about those who have gone through human trafficking, or, other, like even satanic rituals, MK Ultra. I don't know what that is, but certainly satanic rituals, human trafficking.
Yes.
How can we better help people who have
what?
Experienced that and may not be feeling so great on the other side?
Okay. All right. Well, how can you help better, or how can you better help those who have experienced dark things? Okay. There are many different ways to do that. There are many different ways to express love, aren't there? How do you desire to express love to those who have experienced darkness, to those who have experienced tragedy? Now, we do not say that darkness exists or tragedy exists, but you do. But how are you, all of you, going to help each other? You decide. There are so many different ways, aren't there? How do you desire to do it? Well, how does Anthony do it? Well, he's here right now, isn't he? He's helping everybody so that everybody can help each other.
Energetically.
Yes. He works with children. He does it that way too, doesn't he? How do you do it?
Anthony works with children with special needs, for those of you who don't know his other side.
Yes.
So
you see, so he does it in his own way. How do you want to do it in your way? How are you going to help those that are less fortunate than you? Well, we tell you there's an infinite amount of ways. You decide on how you want to do it. Because each time that you show love and gratitude and faith, you are doing something not only for you, but for everybody within this consciousness.
So I run one of the largest TEDx events in the United States. It's one of my other hats, and I've had someone speak about human trafficking on our stage. So there's so many different ways, right? So, to help bring that voice out to thousands and thousands of other people.
Yes, exactly.
Right. We've had actually several people over the years speak on human trafficking.
So we tell you this: there is no one way. There again is only your way, but do something about it. Don't just sit there and think about it. Put it into action, or action it, right?
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
So this is an intense period of growth for many of us. Can you speak to this?
Yes, we can speak to this.
Because so many of us have had to go inward for the last year and a half, right? And now as people are getting vaccinated, others, not, right? But still kind of emerging out of the other side now.
We're showing Anthony a point, and then there's a circle, and there are more points, and this is what we're showing him. This is Anthony's birthday, isn't it? Friday the 13th.
The points that it almost sounded like you were drawing the Kabbalah tree.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to explain it to this in this way. This person wants to know. This soul is understanding something. Remember, this is Anthony's birthday, Friday the 13th. Does that have meaning too? It could.
If you perceive it that way.
However, this is what we want to say. It's not only his birthday, but it's also many others have the same birthday, don't they? It's not only his birthday. He's not only experiencing this, but there are millions of others that are experiencing it as well. So we say this to you, soul. You are experiencing an awakening right now. Yes, you are. You are understanding who you are again in this lifetime. But not only you, soul, there are millions of others that are experiencing exactly the same thing that you are at this very moment. And that is a celebration. You, soul, are not alone. You are amongst millions and millions of others that are experiencing it as well. And we say hallelujah to you for that you are not alone. You have us. You have them. You have everybody to assist you. You will not go through this alone. We are here to help you.
It's having a ripple effect on others in this planet,
Yes.
because many of us are going through this internal growth. Those of us who chose to go inward at this time
So
are
you
going to need to help those who didn't go inward.
are special.
Yeah.
But then again, we are all special in our own way. Let us help each other go through this internal growth. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for that, Anka. I did not know. I'm going to check it out. Mind control program. So MK Ultra is a mind control program.
Mind control program.
Yes.
What is that?
So anyway, what further challenges do we see ahead? I'm assuming you're speaking of COVID, because she says as the majority of the people going to die.
The majority of what people? Who's dying?
Well, I think, you're seeing that in some pockets of the world, but in other pockets of the world, you're seeing the reverse happening.
Okay, this is a very good question.
Yeah.
But they're all good questions. It's a challenging one. Or is it? Well, let's see here. Are more individuals going to die? Yes. Yes, there will be many more that are going to die. You see, your bodies, we told you this many months ago, that in reality, your bodies don't even need the vaccine. But this is what we mean. The energetic body, the human body, has a mechanism, a way to allow itself to become one with this viral infection. There are many ways to do it. Your science has discovered a way to help fight, as you call it, against the virus. We always said this: as your science evolves, so does your spirituality. You decide on how you want to combine them. Now, we cannot tell you whether the vaccine is good or not good for you. Only you can decide on that. We're only here to tell you that science and spirituality do go together. They always have. They were one at one time. They separated, but now they're coming back again. So, will you continue to go through this? Yes. Yes, you will. But this is not the first. It is not the last time. It will occur again. But you will be better for it. Your energetic bodies are becoming stronger by the second. You just don't see that, but we do. We are proud of all of you. We are with all of you. We love all of you.
We have a friend who, she's more of a psychic than she is a channeler. She doesn't even call herself a channeler, but she has the ability to see how we are aurically connected between ourselves. So when she walks down the street, she can literally see the cords between the energetic cords. And she has noticed over the last 5 years that they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger both the cords that surround our auric field and the connections that we have with others.
That is correct, because as a species human, the cords are becoming, as you call them, thicker. You are even more connected now to each other, to source, to universal consciousness than ever before. We are only here to remind you of that.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to add, while that is actually happening simultaneously, we still want to strengthen our immune systems, whether you got the vaccine or not. It doesn't really matter, right? Whether you've gotten it or not, you still want to keep your immune system strong. And, there's holistic and integrative ways that we can all do that. And so, you guys will always tell us, keep your body as strong. It's interconnected between our energetic bodies.
Of course it is. Your energetic body, this perception is what vibrates into the ethers. What you do here is what you do there. What you do there is what you do here. It's all connected.
As above, so below. Yeah.
As within, so without. There is some meaning to that, Truth.
So,
by the way, you look very pretty today.
Oh, thanks, guys. They're always straightening my jewelry. It's the strangest thing. Complete opposite to Anthony's personality, who doesn't even notice I'm wearing jewelry.
We're working on him,
I know. So what methods are available to us in this life to mitigate past and present negative karma?
Very good question.
You're probably not going to like their answer.
No, most likely they will not.
I'm trying to find where that.
First of all, let's not use the word mitigate, because it simply means to argue, to fight back, to go against. So let's think about it this way. Let's flow through it a little bit. Let's flow through our karma. Let's not mitigate it. Let's flow through it. Let's become one with it, first of all. Since we believe that there is karma, therefore karma exists.
Because whatever we believe, we create, right? So if you don't believe, give credence to, or give energy to the idea of karma, then it simply dissipates.
Now, you often ask us, where are you on the ascension process? Well, on the ascension process, these old ways of thinking,
which include believing in karma
and sin itself,
right,
are slowly dissipating. They're slowly going away, because you're starting to understand that you were not born into sin. You were not born into karma as you think or have been led to believe. But in essence, you are here having an experience. And you all can decide on your own experiences. How you decide to perceive them is up to all of you.
So do you perceive that you have karma? And if so, how much time, how much weight are you giving to it on a daily basis?
That is correct.
Because then it will just grow, right?
Yes, it will grow. It will become who you are in this lifetime. However, we do not say that it is good nor is it bad. This can be your experience. And if you decide to have an experience of karma, then again, we say to you, hallelujah, you are doing what it is that you have planned to do in this lifetime.
Do you guys have to use the word hallelujah? It sounds religious to me. It always makes me crazy when they say that.
We can sing a different song if you choose.
Okay. That's just me. That's just me and my stuff.
That is your own karma, isn't it?
Well, it's my own stuff with
Yes,
language.
It is.
So someone's asking about the quantum financial system, or if it actually exists.
Quantum financial system. Does it actually exist?
Are you talking about Bitcoin or beyond that even? Beyond that? No, not that. Is that a yes? Or even beyond crypto? Okay. Do you want to speak to what's happening with our financial system?
Well, your financial system is going through an evolution as well. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, you can see that even from times in memoriam, that things have changed in your financial systems. It's going to continue to change. Your cryptocurrencies are changing your financial institutions at this very moment. Now, someone asked about quantum finances.
Yeah, and this is going to make, all of these things that are happening right now is only increasing the need for institutions to be transparent. So it's allowing, right? It's actually poking holes in the traditional system. So suddenly this transparency is wide open, which is great. It's great for us.
So what is quantum finances actually? Well, we don't actually know what it is, but we can tell you this. Money, numbers, dollars, coins, crypto, it is just another form of energy. You decide on the amount of energy that you will put into it and the significance that it has. You see, you all have this incredible ability to manifest. How do you want to manifest these numbers? You decide. This is the quantum portion of who you are. Do you understand? You are the conductors, as we've always said. What it is that you see will become an outcome. We know sometimes it doesn't make sense, and many have said that this is not real.
But words have vibration, right?
They do. Your thoughts have vibrations. The amount of energy that you put into something has energy, has vibrations. This is the quantum portion of the finance of who you are as well. Where do you want to go with your finance? How do you want to see the numbers change?
And I think too, just when we are in this vibrational field of love, right? Service, contribution, as we are collectively as a group right now, right? If you're in that resonance field, you're going to know whether those who are launching these new financial offerings, right? Quantum or non-quantum, right? You're going to know and feel into that, whether it's ethically aligned with where you want to go. And
we can tell you this, if you want to speak of quantum and put it into a realistic vibration of who you are, we will tell you that your species, that human beings have the ability at this very moment to pull in all of their numbers, their finances, to solve all of the problems that you perceive that you have at this very moment. That in and of itself is a quantum leap many of your governments have no desire to take at this very moment. But that too is okay. You're all getting there, aren't you? Little by little.
So Stephanie wants to know, are those who are on a spiritual path but do not practice from a place of love and authenticity realize their ways? You mean that they've gotten lost or they're not aligned? And will those who cross their path be okay? So I'm not sure if you're referring to, there are some spiritual teachers out there who have, sometimes they get lost, right? Because the ego kind of takes over. Is that what you mean? Yes. Okay.
Okay, good. We understand. Because the ego. All right. We're going to try to say this tactfully. Politically correct, as you call it. There are, as you mentioned, quantum probabilities. On all journeys, you have the probability of going one way or another. depending on your own preferences and experiences. Do you want the ego of who you are to interfere or not? We always say there is no good, there is no bad, there is only who you are. So, what do you all want? Do you want to resonate frequent in vibrations of love? It's that simple, isn't it, Gaia? Or do you desire to have a different experience? Do those who get in their own way, do they realize they're getting in their own way? Well, some do.
Yeah, and some don't.
And some do not.
Yeah.
But it is up to you to try to understand, is this individual getting into his or her own way? And if so...
And are you in alignment with it?
Yes.
'Cause if you're not in alignment with it, how is it going to affect you? It can't. If you're shining your own light out there, how can it harm you? Nothing can harm you, right? If you know that you're connected to source, you're protected, you're in your ground, you're in your field of authenticity and alignment, no energy that's not operating from the same place can impact you.
Unless you desire that it does.
Unless you decide that it will.
Yes. Very good question.
Yeah, it is a great question. And it's the same with karma. If you decide that karma is going to bring you down, then it will. But if you decide just to move through it, right, and be one with it, you simply go through, become one with your shadows, and move forward.
There is more we can say to this, but there are other questions that are going to be asked.
Well, do you want to just add to that?
Just a little bit. We're going to say something like this. There are many people who suffer from diseases, and we understand that. Are they perceptions of diseases? Yes and no. It all depends on where you are. But you have friends who have suffered and do suffer from cancer. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some that fight it tooth and nail, as you call it. They mitigate it. Mm. Okay? They go through their own process. But then there are others who are very spiritual and they kind of just flow into it, don't they? They take it for what it is. They learn from it. Now, this does not mean that they are going to survive it, as you call it, but it is the way that they perceive it that matters.
Yeah.
Isn't that so?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we wanted to say.
So we have a friend who's actually, fairly well known in the spiritual community, and he has stage 4 cancer. That's an unusual, hard to treat cancer because of the type that it is. And our guides asked him once, can you learn to love the disease? Can you learn to love the cancer?
Can you find love?
Can you find love is what you asked him.
Yes, in your cancer. And that made him pause, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's highly evolved. He's been studying for 30, 40 years, and he got it. It was interesting to watch. Can you find love
in your pain? Well, it's up to you.
Can you find love in COVID? Can you find love in,
Can you find the answers? Can you find the reasons? Can you flow through it and not fight through it? You understand?
Yes.
These are very difficult questions if you decide them to be, but we are here to assist you. Very, very good questions. And they do have a great deal of meaning for all of us.
So this is more of I would say, and I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly, Prema probably. I'm not sure if it sounds like it has to do with a Claire question. So the question is smelling burning sage. She actually has been smelling it. Even when there's no sage being burned. Does that have meaning? Or could that have meaning? Or what kind of meaning could that have?
It's funny you say that. Anthony's looking at a word saying shaman in it right now. And he keeps looking at it. And it says mystical shaman.
Yeah, we have so many oracle decks in this house. We could,
So we'll say this to you. Oftentimes when you burn sage, it brings back memories, you might say, of things that you once were, things that you once experienced. Go with this, soul. This is another beginning, an opening for who you are in this lifetime. We say to you, explore it. If you smell sage that you don't even have burning, then we're telling you that your guides are trying to tell you, follow these shamanistic ways to help you to continue to open.
So it's like a thread almost.
In a manner, yes.
To follow.
Yes.
That will unveil something else. If you follow and if you open your heart to it, then something else will appear.
Every journey has a beginning and an end. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Just keep following the journey and you will open yourself up even more. Don't be afraid. Let the doors open. Close the doors that you don't need any longer, but continue to open the doors and enter into your heart and follow that energy.
Yeah, this is a great question and so spot on. Isn't it so that things like the coronavirus, or any virus for that matter, that are created out of lower vibrations cannot survive anymore as the collective frequencies is exponentially raising all the time?
You know, this
It's a great question.
is not just a question, but it is an accurate statement
It's an
as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say you nailed it. Yes.
This is why we say to all of you, one day your medicine will become so much a part of your spirituality that there will be no more vaccines that are required, because as a species, your vibration will be so much part of what love is itself that there will be no more disease, as you call it.
So this lends itself to, it looks like there's a couple of people on the karma question who want to go deeper with it.
That is okay. We are here to serve.
So are you saying karma doesn't exist? And then another question from someone else right on top of that, how does this work with the Eastern principles of karma?
Okay, let us tell you this first of all.
Yeah.
Okay. Many, many, many hundreds, thousands of years ago, and even to this day, you still have many different deities, gods and goddesses, don't you? Mm-hmm. And that too is okay. Remember, you brought them into existence simply by your collective consciousness. But why is it that you no longer pray to those gods and goddesses that are still around? Well, are they still here? Not really. They are no longer in existence because you've decided that they no longer serve you. Well,
except for ones like Krishna that still has, that's Kuan Yin. There's still some.
Yes, there are.
Technically, he is an ascended master, but we have goddesses all over the house.
Yes, you do. And they do serve you, don't they? You have them on your altar. You have creatures with wings right here, right now, at this very moment. You believe that angels, and we say to you, that's good. If that's where it's going to take you, if that's what you need, then yes.
So anyway, to go back and
we are trying to answer the question.
Well, to get on point, just the idea of the collective consciousness, we have created these gods and goddesses. Mm-hmm. Right? We have manifested them into material existence. And
these religions, are they incorrect? No, they are not incorrect. There is a collective consciousness that says this is what's going to help us to continue on our paths to get to know who we are as human beings.
And some of these Eastern religions are still saying that karma is part of, at least it's still part of their teachings.
That too is okay.
So the consciousness of karma does still exist.
That is correct. We always tell you this, there are many different ways to achieve who you are, your authentic self, to know you. You can go outward or you can go inward. We tell you, you choose a path, but it is up to you to choose. Does karma exist? Yes, it does. if you say it does. This is the quantum portion of who you are. This is the quantum aspect of who you are as a species. This is the science of your own religions coming together now to form one spirituality. It's happening. It's happening now at this very moment.
So think about it this way. If you're part of, and we support all faiths and belief systems, right? Including none at all, whether maybe yoga is your go-to or Mother Earth, right? But if an Eastern belief system is your belief, right? And that karma is part of that, then karma is something that you plug into, right? So we talk about it all the time. It's like, what do each of us as energy beings plug into and give energy to, right? So those in the Western, belief systems don't necessarily believe in karma, or they might call it something else, but we don't give it energy. Just like, as Anthony always is fond of saying, when he lived and worked in the South Bronx, he didn't live his life from fear, but he also didn't walk down a certain road late at night, right? Because he didn't want to give energy to. Do you want to maybe speak to it from that vantage point? It's like, where are you going to spend your time? Are you going to spend your time plugging into fear, right? Let's take a look at the modern world, plugging into fear, or believing in conspiracy theories around COVID or political conspiracy theories? Or do you rise above it and plug into the love grid and decide that you're here just to do contribution service?
Let's speak about love.
Yes.
Okay, so love comes in many different forms, shapes, colors, sizes, and whatever you want to call it. Love comes in many different ideas, whether it is karma, whether it's faith, however you describe it. Even those that do not have any, and we said this last night, have no sense of God, still are of love and are in service to others. You see, you can be of love and have no sense of something beyond yourself, or you can be of love and feel that there is karma as well. That too is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to understand that each soul has its own experience. You decide on what part of love you wish to experience. There is no good, there is no bad, there is no high or low, left or right, in front or behind. There only is.
And the other question to ask is, focusing on karma, does it serve you? Does it serve you?
If it does serve you in this lifetime, then we say, we're not going to say hallelujah.
How about bravo?
Bravo, bravissimo.
That's better, like nice and neutral.
Bravo, yes. But if it doesn't, and you just decide to go somewhere else, then bravo to you again. You see, one door closes, another one opens, and that too is good. But as a human species, you are all evolving. You are starting to see that it comes down to one particular thing, one energy, and that is love, and that is who you really all are. You're just discovering it in many different ways.
So even if you want to go to a place of choosing in this lifetime that karma does exist for you, rather than focus on the karma, knowing that all of our actions of love, contribution, and service, right, and the traditional karmic system that negates, or, our karma, why not just focus on that rather than the karma? Right?
True, Gaia. Well said.
Well, in a quantum worldview, everything that we do has a ripple effect. So it has a ripple effect on the perceived karma, but it also has a ripple effect on every other living energetic thing in this universe.
That is true. You are all energy beings. You are just simply energy. What you do here in this vibration ripples, vibrates everything else. You're like a big spider web. You touch one here and it vibrates to everything else.
Our challenge, really, not so much challenge, but our hope is, how do we help bridge the gap between science and spirituality?
How do you do that? You're doing a very good job.
Well, in a way that's respected by both sides, right? So that if they get closer together, then we don't have groups, the materialists.
You wish to please everybody.
Well, not wish to please everybody, but it really is the same thing, just using different language and a different way to get there.
Anthony wants to please everybody, he said. We told him, good luck. Remember, soul, you don't have to please everybody. Remember, this is for you. This is your unique journey.
Yeah.
You decide what you want to do. Frequent and be with those who are like you. And then you will discover where it is that you want to go next.
Yeah. So Suzanne is asking, is the veil getting thinner? And if so, will that enable people to more fully access their gifts and also their purpose? And is meditation a good way to get there? In touch with their spiritual abilities?
The veil. Okay. The veil.
You don't want to be around here on a full moon. A few of you have been with us through a full moon. I think Dunya has.
Is the veil truly getting thinner? Is there a veil? And if so, what is a veil? Is it something that keeps you from becoming connected to the others, to yourselves, to source? Is that a veil? Is it like a sheet? No. Great souls, why do you put up so many obstacles in your way?
Even Magdalene told us that the veil is thinner at certain times of the year. For all the shamans and Wiccans and old green witches among us.
Yes.
Who really connect with that.
There are times during your year or your, however you want to call it, that you are practicing more, thinking more, doing more. But we're going to tell you this, even with all of your ceremonies, there isn't really a veil, but there is a consciousness. Now, your consciousness as human beings is becoming stronger. As your psychic friend says, the cords are becoming thicker. Your abilities, capabilities, capacities to connect to you. And when we say you, it is connected to everything. Your abilities to do that are stronger than ever before. So does the veil become thinner? In a manner of speaking, yes, because your ability to connect to who you truly are becomes greater. Therefore, we will say then the veil becomes thinner, if that's how you want to put it. Yeah. How does that sound?
And meditation is a good way to get in touch.
Meditation is a very good way, but it is only one way.
Yeah. It's interesting because that's why you'll hear our guides say sometimes people get frustrated because they want an answer. But because we're all individual frequencies, if you like, of energy, each of us will connect in a different way, better, right? So I connect more on my paddleboard in water, right? That works for me. I want to be around nature. I want to be around animals. It's the opposite for Anthony. He is very traditional in that way, that he meditates in a meditation room with incense and candles and, and meditation music. And that's the way he connects. So you have to find what it is for you. But certainly quieting the mind and getting the mind into a theta brainwave state, which he most certainly does in meditation. helps to get there.
Yes, he believes that when he lights his candles and the incense, that the veil will be thinner and it will be easier to connect. So therefore it is. But remember, whatever gets you there, allow it to do it. And then find another way to get there. And then another way and another way. Because there are an infinite amount of ways to connect to you.
So just one word for our Instagrammers over here. If we disconnect, because it may disconnect in a minute, because I think it does a limit on it, we'll just hit the button again and reconnect with you guys if it disconnects. So just letting you know over there. Here we go into one of our favorite old topics. We don't talk about it so much anymore, but how does elemental beings and dragons returning in numbers assist us in our awakening and our knowing?
Okay.
We have friends who are dragons.
Just because we had said when Anthony was looking at mystical shamans over here, and someone wanted to mention about smelling incense or sage, it's the same thing. How do elementals and dragons come into all of this? Well, they do. Because if you're feeling a connection to these elemental energies or dragon energies at this time, we want you to explore them. Because this is a door at this very time that's opening for you. And it's opening because it wants you to step in and allow their energies to become a part of who you are in this lifetime. They may not always be there, but it is just another opening so that you can explore it and explore this aspect of your spirituality, of your essence in this lifetime.
Yeah. So, but we always do best practices, right? Is this energy coming into my field of the light that serves me and my highest good in this lifetime? We always say that, right? Always do that.
That is true.
But they could be some of your guides, actually. So
remember, the guides do change over time.
They do change. So it may start with dragon and elemental energy.
If you allow them to.
If you allow them to, and then it may morph and change. Yeah, we see this all the time with people. It's amazing where it'll start with one energy and then another energy will start to appear.
It happened with you and Anthony, didn't it?
It happens with everybody we know. So
if you decide to change.
So just be open to that morphing, right? That maybe you are like, oh, I have this dragon guide, right? And then be open to the possibility that it will change as you change and grow. How do we help children open to love?
Children already are open to love.
Yeah.
They already are able to see us. They are already able to feel us. It's simply that we as adults, or you as adults, will always say to them that it's not true. But if you continue to allow them to see the elemental, see the fairies, see the ghosts, as you call them, then they will continue to always be open to love.
And support it, right? And don't make them crazy for
support them in the most magical of ways.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of times happens is that adults don't believe that they can see these other dimensions, and then they squash it, which really squashes their ability.
That is correct.
So, can you drop the illusion of death?
Can you drop the illusion of death? We like that. Can you drop the illusion that you're getting older?
Yes, please.
Can you drop the illusion that your skin becomes thinner, that is, non-elastic? Can you drop that illusion? Well, yes and no. You see, again, a very difficult concept. You have the illusion of becoming old, therefore you do. Okay. One day we say unto all of you, you will live beyond 100 years, 200 years. Yet you're getting there. So can you drop the illusion of death? You can. You certainly can. Because we say this to all of you, and we'll say it again. This idea of this body of being alive, it appears that it's alive, but it's really not. So death itself is a bit like being contained, incarcerated in this body and not knowing who you are. So for us, we say that this is a bit like death. That is, you are completely have completely been forgotten. You have forgotten. It is oblivion of who you are. So for us, this is a bit like death. But we know for all of you that this is life, but that's okay. So yes, you can drop the illusion of death if you choose. And that too is okay. It's okay. But you really don't die. You see, when you exit these bodies, this vibration, you simply go back again into source energy, and you decide what you're going to experience again, whom you're going to give assistance to, how you want to be, what you want to experience,
where you want to give assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And what kind of form you want to show up in next.
You know, you are having multiple experiences simultaneously. And that too is another quantum aspect of who you are as a being.
So Yasmin's asking, what can we, or Jasmine, depending on, I guess, what culture, what can people do to receive downloads more clearly from spirit guides?
Very good.
So
okay.
I am going to send, I'll let you answer it, but we do have a pre-recorded course that we've done on how to connect to your spirit guides.
Yes. How do you want to connect to your spirit guides? So
I'm just going to throw that link out there for those who are wanting to connect more, because it's a really, I mean, it's whatever. I can't even remember what price. I think it's $33 or something. So very inexpensive, and it's quite lengthy, goes through, I don't know how many different lessons on video on how different things that you can do to connect.
Smelling white sage when it's not burning is an example. So this is what we're going to tell you. All of you have these connections. Something is driving you to be here at this very moment. What is it? What's driving you to be in this spiritual situation, in this spiritual vibration?
In this tribe.
Yes. Something
I love
is
the word tribe.
Calling you, isn't it? Well, that's very shaman of you, isn't it?
I guess it is.
You see, what is it that's evoking this sensation in your bodies, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul? Well, there's something calling you. These are the guides that are assisting you at this very moment, telling you, try this.
Yeah.
Now, how are they going to communicate with you? Well, we're doing it right now with you. And as we do this with you, it strengthens your auric field at this very moment, so that you can communicate better with your higher self, which is also a part of the guides that are here to assist you. But we don't have one answer for you. How do you do it? You discover on this journey how you are going to connect with your guides, spiritual guides, higher self. Remember, you are a part of us. We are a part of you. There is no separation between your higher self and your guides, but we can get into that at another time.
Yeah. So one
Again,
thing I
good
just want to
question.
mention before we go, because I think we need to go back into karma a little bit. I think we've confused a couple people.
Okay.
But before we do, because I will forget to mention our upcoming courses in September, and I want to make sure that I mention that. So we have two. Well, actually, one is a 2-week workshop. And if you guys, newbies who haven't done anything with us, just email us and I'll give you a code, a discount code. The first one is 4 weeks of channeling Yeshua. So I will tell all of you, and those of you who have been with us month after month, right, over the years, we have never done a course on just channeling Yeshua. This is brand new for us. So it's going to be 4 weeks of channeling Yeshua, and that's going to be September 8th through September 29th. And for those of you in Europe, there will be replays and recordings. So there's going to be a 2-week workshop on Saturday, September 11th, and then we miss a week, and then Saturday, September 25th on manifestation through spirit. And the reason we're skipping the week is because there's going to be exercises that you're going to do in between the first week and the third week. And part of what's going to make it different than the way that we taught this before is that we're going to, you guys have all known, if you've done anything on manifestation and abundance, and how to get into the field of resonance to achieve that manifestation, what you're trying to achieve. But even if we intellectually get it, we don't necessarily stay in that resonance. So we're going to do some guided meditations to try and get you into your body to feel that. And then exercises in between to feel what that resonance is like. Because that's the key, right? I mean, yeah, we have a lesson plan and we're going to go through that, and there's going to be channeling and there's going to be healing, but until you can feel it and embody it, it doesn't happen. You guys know this, right? You're not in the flow and you're not in the field. And so the universal consciousness can't match it. So anyway, those are the two things that we're doing this fall. And if you are new, just email us and I'll send you guys a discount code and come and do that. And then the second thing I want to mention for the girls here, the women here, we're doing something that I know, Angie, you just signed up for it. Yay! Magdalene Sisters. It's a monthly thing that only $11 a month. So it's super inexpensive. And it's going to be a channeled message for Mary Magdalene every month, but women only. So this is a sisterhood. It's totally a sisterhood. It's a membership program. So we have one. We just did our first one for the United States, or anyone who's okay with US time zones. And we are starting a new one in September for European time zones. And Gail, this may appeal to you even better for the time zone. And that's going to be on Tuesday morning, September 7th. So that'll be evening in Europe, evening in the Middle East, evening in Africa. And I think for anybody in Australia or New Zealand, I think the evening time will work better. And if you're not in our private Facebook group, I would say come on over. It's free, obviously. And just start the conversation, actually. And we can keep a dialogue as well. And then this is our YouTube channel where we post free videos all the time, regularly, of channeling. So go ahead and subscribe over there as well. And maybe we'll do our next video on karma.
Yes, that would be good.
That's a great idea, because I think we could go pretty deep in it. And I think, yes, people think it's about punishment rather than the soul deciding to experience something from the other side of the coin. Yeah.
Isn't that sin?
Yeah, I think there is this notion that, this karma, right, punishment for things that you didn't do well in the previous life is kind of following you over into this life.
But why do you think you didn't do things well? What is well? What is it to do things well? We told you before, it is nothing more than an experience.
Right.
So doing something well may be perceived as not doing well, therefore you do it again. But we're going to tell you this. If you think that you didn't do it well, we say this. If you believe, or if you simply as a soul want to do it again, experiencing it in a different way, then you will. But if you put on a name and call it karma, that too is okay. If you want to call it sin, you may, but that's your experience. But we tell you this, it simply is nothing more than an experience. How do you desire to experience this vibration, this quantum aspect of who you are in this lifetime?
What we focus on, and I don't know what your first name is, Paso is on the screen, but what we spend our time fixated on and focused on, I can't say that strongly enough, is what gets stronger and what gets bigger for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So shall we take one more question and then wrap it?
If you desire.
So REM says, hi, yay, nice to see you here. So let's just see, is there any question that somebody has not? Yes, perfect. I love that analogy, Angie, like actors taking on different roles for the experience.
Very well said. Yes.
Oh, so REM just jumped on because she was late and she has not had a question yet. So let's take that as our last one, and because it's a great one.
It's a good one. It's a great one.
You're going to love it. How can one experience God? It's a great question.
How can one experience God?
Yes, Terry. Yes, you've said things in a different way. It's perfect.
You're making our heads itch. Okay.
Carrie just jumped in. Welcome, Carrie. We are about to wrap for the two people who just jumped in, but we are taking one last question that the guides are going to answer right now, and that is, how does one experience God?
How many different expressions of love are there?
Yeah.
How many different expressions of love are you? How many different expressions of love do you desire to experience? Then you will understand how you experience God. For we say unto all of you, you are God in this carnation, this body form. There is no separation between God and you. We are God, you are God. You see, we are all one. We are all love. You are experiencing God now. And with that, we will step back.
And for the scientist among you, right, this is the non-duality of who we are, the oneness, the interconnectedness of all that is.
That is correct. Om is the vibration of this universe. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace be with you all. Grace, love, gratitude, and love. Be these aspects of who you are. Vibrate these aspects. Frequent into these vibrations and then share them with others.
And that too,
this
you will experience
is
God.
God.
Yeah.
Gaia, thank you for receiving us. It's been a privilege and an honor. Be well, all of you.
Thanks.
Continue to be who you truly are in this lifetime. And that is God. Be well.
In different expressions of God. So off they go. Off they go. So the guides are leaving. And actually, for Instagrammers, you probably haven't seen this before because usually the Instagram feed dies before the end of us. So anyway, thank you all. Anthony is back. Are you back?
Yes, more or less.